not fun. Who was it I encountered in the cemetery last night? Rune's grave doesn't exist? Why? Is it because Sarah's Rune? Oh, that can't be. The townsman clearly said that Rune had died. Damn it. This is all getting so confusing.
So you snuck out without me, while I was asleep no less, and you even ran into Sarah too.
I could feel Selphine's biting displeasure sink its teeth into my skin.
I would have liked to say a word or two to her as well, but somebody didn't take that into consideration.
Forgive me, milady, but the hour was late and I did not want to risk anything that would accelerate the development of your mana shock.
Somebody wasn't thinking about their dear friend wanted. Oh no!
I offer milady 1,000 pardons. You have my word that this will not happen again.
Never is a pretty strong word, Ritona.
Selphine appeared determined to maintain in her relentless glaring. Ugh. But even I thought that she would regard my actions with such scorn.
I suppose I will have to take your word for now, Ritona. I don't think you're off the hook there just yet.
Understood.
Listen, Ritona. I know I'm useless for the most part.
Milady.
No, come on, you know it's true, so let's not deny it. I'm not saying this to make you feel worse, but it's a fact that I have come to accept. I have zero talent in manacravte, battlecraft, everything really. I know I'll never be as varied and versatile as you. My fear is that I will become so burdensome that I'd be weighing you down with every step you take.
With every step I take, God, ginger beer makes me burpy. Ugh.
But as much as the fates seem to prefer that I stand idly by, I feel that my proper place is to be by your side, Ritona.
Please elaborate, milady. What do you mean?
As my royal guardian, you have always prioritized my safety above all things, and I realize that will never change. If you were still in Rughzenhaide, I could easily appoint your successor and free you of your responsibilities of being my royal guardian, and that would put my worries to rest. But we are alone and far away from our home. Your duty as my royal guardian is to ensure my safe return to the Kingdom of Rughzenhaide, correct?
Correct.
If something happened to you, do you really think I can make it back home on my own?
That's a big fat no.
Ritona, I want to share the burden. We must help keep each other alive. Do you understand, Ritona? If we are on equal standing, Ritona Vasudasta. You are my dearest friend. I cannot bear the thought of losing you, so please.
That's really caught me off guard. It really caught me off regard royally. Sorry. In this dire situation where one's title carries no weight, as far as the situation is concerned, Selphine and I are equals. How can I not notice something so simple? You have my word, milady.
From this moment forward, you and I are on equal standing.
Oh, whoops. From this moment forward, you and I are on equal standing.
Right!
It seems like I've been treating her as I did when we were both young. A large burden seems to have been lifted off my shoulders.
So if you don't mind, I actually had a suggestion I've been wanting to make.
By all means.
Ritona, I would like to try casting manakravte.
What? Well, Ooh, back in this place. Savit's Enterprise Boardroom. Rude Savitz awoke after a rare and impromptu nap, induced from reading the mountain of mundane paperwork strewn across the table. His expression appeared ghastly, as if he had woken from a terrible dream. Ruda briefly chafed his forehead to dispel the grogginess, irritated and perturbed by his unpleasant daydream. Why, he wondered in silence, must I be haunted by those memories once more, so of his sister? Sarah. It's all because of Sarah. Her actions have caused me to subconsciously recall the horrors I witnessed during my childhood. Why must I relive the blood and the screams once more? Ooh, so she was murdered. I recall the deep resentment I harbored toward my father. Okay, so we're looking at the perspective of Rudo. I remember the compassion I felt for my mother, and when they passed, I took any chance of my reconciliation with them and left me with a parting gift of regret. 12 years. 12 years ago, everything felt like a bad dream I wanted so badly to awaken from. When I was a boy, I never knew any child my age to be more cruel, more twisted than my sister. Ritona was infamous for harboring an unbridled disregard for authority of any kind. She was unrestrained, uncontrollable, and downright demented. Wow. Everyone knew that there was no disciplining her, because Ruth thrived on making everyone miserable. In fact, she derived pleasure from the antagonism directed towards her, and every time someone gave her a dirty look, Rune would smile her psychotic little head off. But what she loved to do the most, in order to make the biggest impact possible, was inflict physical harm onto others. Why was she the source of everyone's misery? Why did she enjoy being the outcast? Whatever the reason, the result would always leave her with a profound sense of accomplishment. To me, Ritona was nothing short of a monster. I remember there was one day, I saw Rune in the grand hall of our residence, and noticed that her right eye was swollen shut. Concerned about Rune's swollen eye, our frail yet devoted mother felt compelled to take her to a clinic near the outskirts of Cadia to have it treated, aggravating the existing strain on her fragile body. Rune, mother's waiting for you. Let's go already.
No!
I'll give you my share of pudding tonight, so could you please be good and listen to me, just for today?
I don't like pudding. Go away!
Doesn't your eye hurt, Rune? If you don't get it treated now, you might go blind in one eye. Do you want to see out of only one eye?
I don't care. I think I actually want to go blind in one eye.
What's the matter with you, Rune? Blindness is...
Rudo! Are you both ready now?
Rune, Mum's actually feeling healthy enough to get out of bed today. Please, just be good for her.
You know what, Rudo? I don't give a damn. You know what else? I hope Mommy dies.
Holy shit, Rune.
I hope Daddy dies too. I hope that stupid clinic burns to the ground. But most of all, I hope you die, Rudo. Hope everyone in the world just kills over.
You don't mean that. Don't say anything that you don't really mean. It's depressing. In reality, I didn't find half of what she said too depressing. I hope you die, Rudo. I couldn't keep track of how many times she said that to me. Rune never really cared much about anything else. It served some purpose to satiate, I don't know, her twisted persona. For example, Rune had a fairly limited vocabulary, but she knew more words associated with morbid topics. Rune, I don't care if you say those nasty things to me, but please don't even utter those words in front of our mother. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. In hindsight, I should have known that my pleas would have the opposite effect on my wicked sister. If only I had known that she was a simpleton, I could have worked wonders on Rune with the reverse psychology. If I had encouraged her in a roundabout way to do something that appeased her evil ego, she would have listened to me. Whether she would have taken my encouragement seriously is now a redundant matter, but I suspect that she would have taken abnormal delight in the idea. I could never properly communicate with Rune, Not with words, at least. Her brand of communication was always performed through physical contact.
Rune, you haven't changed yet. Hurry and get changed.
I'm sorry, Mother. I tried to tell her, but Rune's being very stubborn.
Don't be sorry, Rudo. You only did what you thought was right. Come on, sweetie. Let's go see the doctor and see what he can do about your swollen eye. No! Rune, your eye won't get any better if we don't go now. It shouldn't take you too long either. Doctors are a lot better now than they used to be, at least when I was a girl. No!
Mother's word was always final. Whenever Rune realized that she couldn't bring our mother down to her level.
I don't want to go.
Rune would take all civility out of the conversation. Recede to the mentality of a toddler and whine away. It was a painful sight to see every single time.
Wah!
Her ear-splitting shrieks would reverberate without end until her vocal cords were worn out to the point of exhaustion. Ugh.
Please, Rune, be a good girl and listen to Mommy. If you're a good girl, Mom will take you to the ice cream parlor and send her just to get off your appointment at the clinic. I don't wanna go!
No matter how hard my mother tried to reason with her, Rune just wouldn't listen. Ultimately, we had to drag her onto the carriage, kicking and screaming all the way to the clinic. 30 minutes passed. Rune finally stopped subjugating her vocal cords to her endless shrieks. But her tantrum was far from over. During the entirety of her examination, Rune continually lunged and snapped at her attending physician. The unfortunate physician endured Rune's behavior in silence far better than most people would. But I could tell by the look in his eyes he had had enough of her nonsense. If he went to Savit's employee, I'm certain that he would have thrown us out as soon as he concluded Rune's examination. He dressed her swollen eye with a white eye patch and said nothing else. We stopped by the central chiswick just as my mother said we would, and Rune sprinted off into the distance.
Goodness, whatever am I going to do with Rune?
Mother, I'll go try and calm her down. If I can get her to calm down, she might tell us what's bothering her. I'm sure she will.
I suppose I still have a thing or two that I can learn from my own children. I suppose you can keep up with her, Rudo. I don't know what I'd do with Rune if you weren't there watching out for her, Rudo. I can't keep up with that bundle of energy, not anymore.
I'm sure she has a good reason. I wanted so badly to believe there was a method to her madness. Maybe when Rune grows up a little, she'll start to calm down even more. To this day, I still cannot fathom how I would have the misfortune of being the model sibling to that wild child. This is just a phase. We just have to tough it out. Once Rune grows older, she has to come to her senses. She has to. But until then, I'll keep an eye on her. Don't worry about her, Mother.
Mommy!
Rune returned to the carriage with a thick branch in hand.
Rune, put that stick down now! You can hurt yourself or someone else. Can I really hurt someone else? Wee!
Rune thrust the stick into the pavement and ran in circles around the carriage before taking off once more, kicking up dirt and dust in the process.
Goodness gracious! We can't let her run free with that. It's dangerous.
I'll go, Mother. You stay here and rest and I'll go after her.
No, I'm coming with you. For once in my life, I need to do the hard deed of scolding my child.
If only that could have prevented what came next. What the hell is this? Huh? Took me some time before I realized. What that sound really was. It was an adolescent boy. Huh? Who let out a wholeheartedly justified blood-curdling scream. Oh shit. Ah, Kavanagh? Ah, where did that come from? I found a boy being pinned to the ground with the hand of his assailant clenched tied around his collar. What the hell? This is the stuff of nightmares. No, oh god, this is super yandere. The assailant was my psychotic little sister, who appeared to be overcome with euphoria as she stabbed the sharp end of the stick into the victim's face several times. What? The ground was stained with the boy's blood. The impact of the unbelievable scene forced my mind into shock. With each and every downward thrust Rune took with their stick, the area around them became more and more saturated with blood.
It looks funny now, huh?
Oh, The child wasn't even flinching as the branch carved into his skull. He was clearly unconscious. Rune! I can't even scream. I'd be like, Rune!
That's not the answer I wanted to hear!
Rune's voice, rendered into raspy, ispily trills after screaming her head off, didn't resemble that of a young girl's.
Die, die, die!
It sounded like that of a monster's. The only thing I could recall after hearing a twisted tune was my body lurching forward. When I came to, my clothes were drenched and dyed with various shades of crimson blood. Just by the evidence at the time, I could conclude that I separated Rune from her victim, but how I managed to do that remains unclear even to this day. The boy was immediately taken to one of our branch hospitals for emergency care. The boy's name Marcus Growski's age 8. What? Growly? I keep saying Growskis, but Growlies? Crowley? What? The team of surgeons worked for hours stabilizing Marcus, removing hundreds of splinters from his face and disinfecting his left eye socket. Oh my god! It was Herdswood's nephew! That was his nephew, the eye! Oh my... Oh, what the fuck? They were able to save his life, but they couldn't save his left eye. What's worse, one of Rune's thrusts into his left eye socket impacted the sphenoid bone near his left temple. This would end up being the cause of permanent damage to his body's purified mana production and regulation. Rune's rampage left Marcus to suffer reoccurring cluster headaches for the remainder of his life. And he'll learn that if he wakes up again. Rune blamed Marcus for what happened, asserting that he started it with an offhanded comment. It looked funny. Rune was 6 years old when she made her first attempt at committing murder. The surgeons she performed on Marcus were mystified by a number of details of the incident, more so than outraged. Even though Marcus was much bigger than Rune, she easily overtook him. Marcus's eye proved resilient by withstanding numerous sharp stabs from Rune's stick. They came to a collective conclusion that the nature of the incident was highly peculiar. Apparently the thought of a younger child, a girl no less, overpowering an older boy and inflicting severe injuries onto him with only a stick in hand was highly unusual. In order to perform such a feat, there had to have been an element of surprise. What a terrible and unfortunate accident, the doctors all said. No, there was no way this was some sort of freak accident. This wasn't just some incident where a small girl lashed out in anger. We must have had her clear intentions of destruction. This little incident was just an excuse to exercise that malicious intent. Afterwards, my mother, who had barely been able to contain her emotions, did the difficult deed, and gave Rune the scolding of her life. This was the first scolding Rune had ever received from our mother. She cried her eyes out while apologizing to everyone in the room. The peacekeepers of Cadia issued my parents an edict of Rune's punishment for attempted murder, indefinite residential confinement, essentially house arrest. For a short period of time, Rune didn't speak a single word, not to herself, not to anyone. For my parents, however, the matter of liability for their daughter's crime fell onto them. We were open to do everything in our power to make things right for the son of the Growley's family. Starting with complimentary coverage from Marcus at our largest hospital, where he received the best and most advanced treatments that were available. Good on him. The monetary value of every treatment he underwent was a little concern. We waived everything. We even extended Marcus's care to cover his education, which also went towards supporting his whole family who were experiencing financial straits. We looked past the astronomical loss of gallows to a single family just to right the wrongs of the deranged little Rune. In fact, when we extended our generous offer to the Growley's family, the mother wanted nothing from us, even monetary aid from my parents. But it wasn't long until her declination of our offer caused eternal strife within his family. His wife, discontent with her husband's greed for desiring our offer, divorced him and departed Cadia, citing irreconcilable idiocy. I don't know. I know what idiocy means. Just a day passed since the incident. Tuned into a week, a month, a year, and yet time ceased to salvage the broken Growley's family. On the other hand, my family's long conglomerate chain continued to grow and flourish, one link at a time. The damage that Rune had done to our family and the company left a stigma, but the wounds of her wayward actions dissipated with time. Contrary to the personal belief at the damage, Rune had managed to reach the conclusion that hurting people was bad. Something inside her head clicked, compelling her to broaden her vocabulary from a personal compendium of pain and death. It's almost as if she underwent some sort of metamorphosis from the time she spent under house arrest, entering her chrysalis of silence and emerging as a normal human. No longer was Rune the anthropic menace that I had always known her to be, or was a normal child with non-violent tendencies towards the other people. Obviously, given my history with her to date, I had doubts about what I saw in her with my own eyes. In fact, I had nothing but doubts concerning the fantastic idea of Rune's evolution from a little monster into the little sister I had never had. But as time passed, I came to accept that Rune truly had changed. 5 years have passed since Rune blinded poor Marcus Growleys, and not a day goes by that I don't think about what would have happened if I hadn't stopped it then.